Hello everyone and welcome back to some more NASCAR Heat 5 for the second episode of our custom championship series without the playoffs, where today we're going to jump right into Atlanta. We don't have to do anything else because we don't have to set up all the settings like we did in the first episode, but if you have missed the first episode, feel free to click a card up in the top corner over in that direction over there somewhere right about now, and you can feel free to check up so that you know what happened. Quick spoilers on the screen right now. Obviously we did finish third, but if you'd like to see how that happened, feel free to go click that and then get all caught up. Okay, so I am going to qualify again just because this is like our first actual, I guess, racetrack in a way, because Daytona and Talladega in this game definitely don't play by the same rules in regards to qualifying. Okay, so coming out of turn 4, I got kind of tight in the first corner because I didn't change the preset. I probably should have thought about that. And we're going to get 31st. Honestly, it probably would have been a lot better, but I did not change the preset, so we are on the tightest setting. And I probably need to change that before we actually head off into the race. All right, so here we go. Green flag coming out. We are starting outside of the top of 30, but you know what? We can make up a lot of ground here early because I did loosen up the car significantly from qualifying. I'm going to have to see. I don't actually know how many laps this is. I think it was 36 or something. 42. Okay, so I don't know where 36 came from. But we have 28 laps of fuel, so there will be one pit stop. Once again, I feel like that's going to be every race in this series except for maybe the Coke 600, which might be 2 pit stops potentially. But let's try and get a clean start here. We are very loose, actually. I think I might have made it a bit too loose. But hopefully that means we'll be fast, and we're able to actually survive through the corners. Ooh, that is actually dangerously loose. That's not good at all. Okay. Well, we kind of shoved Eric Almirola up the hill there. My car, you might not have noticed, but we were actually sideways. I was not turning left for about half of that corner. I might need to actually lift just slightly to make sure the car stays under control. Probably not ideal, but if it's quick enough to get us up to the front, then it's a good enough sacrifice for now. I touched the apron, and okay, somehow Austin Dillon kind of saved me there until I smacked into the wall. That's going to be some damage. All right, what's that going to put me at arrow-wise? 99%. I do wish they'd make it where you could just kind of toggle between those as opposed to having to wait for them to just switch on their own. We also kind of got shoved up the hill there by Nemechek. This is a very loose car. I don't think this is going to go too well for us. I probably should have actually practiced a little bit. But I could have probably gone down a tick or two on the slider there. Oh gosh. Yeah, see, as I come down, I could have kept going there if there was no other cars, but because Almirola's there, I do have to check up, and I just lose a ton of momentum. Which, hey, I mean, at the very least, that does kind of resemble the physics in the real world, where it's all momentum-based racing right now. We are very sideways. This is pretty sketchy. Oh god. And we gotta survive for 42 laps this way. I don't know if that's really going to go all that well. Okay, maybe if we stay towards the high side, it might be easier. I say that whenever we get to the middle of the corner, that's when it really wants to snap out on me. My problem's probably going to be once we get lower on the tire wear. Once we get below, like, I don't know, 60, 50%, that's probably not going to do us too well. We're only at 96%, although it's going to be our right rear. That's how you know we're a bit too loose, because it's significantly below the right front in terms of wear. If you're tight, the right front would wear down quicker. Ideally, you want them to wear down about the same pace. I mean, it's going to be pretty stable through most of the corners. Okay, we are still making our way up towards the front. We have Bobby Carter up here, good old Bobby Carter that nobody's ever heard of. I honestly haven't checked. I'm pretty sure he's a fantasy driver that they just threw in there for some reason. I don't know exactly why. If he is a real driver, then you know what? Hey, Bobby, I'm sorry, but I've never heard of you, and I watch like every race. So you must not be doing too well. Okay, so at least we got to the outside of good old Bobby over here. Am I going to save that? Okay, I am. You know what? See, this is why I could leave it on stable, because I would have probably caused multiple wrecks by now if it weren't for that. I basically rely on some of these cars stopping me from wrecking. But let's see if we can keep it under control. If I lift it slightly, it becomes a lot more manageable, but it's still very loose, which, if I have to say anything, it kind of does fit in with that Atlanta. For the most part, you do want the car to be very loose, so you can kind of ride the high line if you have to. And then you kind of rim ride around the yellow line at the bottom at the start when you have fresh tires. Still running 30.2s, so we haven't really lost a whole lot of time from the start here, but I am being a bit more conservative. I don't really want to push too hard because I'd rather finish, 20th than dead last. I'm also not sure how DNFs actually work in this game. Supposedly, from what I've heard, it's very difficult to actually DNF in this game, as in you have to go head on to the wall about 10 times, which is kind of disappointing. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but I personally haven't DNF'd at all in this before. It looks like there already is one DNF. Somebody's on pit road. I don't know if that was that Ryan Preece down there? I couldn't actually tell what paint scheme that was. But pretty early in the race, not even 10 laps in, somebody has blown an engine, it would seem. Also, Daniel Suarez doing a pretty good job up here in 18th position. Very good out of him. That's not a car you normally expect to be up here with that a bunch of attrition taking place. Okay, we've gotten to the tail of Chris Buescher, and hey, a caution comes out, and this is going to be an interesting spot. If we pit now, you can't complete the race, but I feel like we should pit. I think we want to make sure we have good tires, so we're going to go ahead and choose to pit. How many cans of fuel do we actually need? We only need 1 can to fill it up. Should I repair the damage? I don't know if it's actually going to do anything. I don't think you can repair from 99%. I'm pretty sure once you're down to 99%, that's the highest you can go. So we're going to skip out on that just to hopefully save on some time maybe. I'm going to do 4 tires because I want the car to be as balanced as possible. Alright, so where does this put us? We fall down 12 spots. Okay, well, we're back on 29th, but we do have fresh tires. So hopefully we can make those positions back up. That was a miserable restart. I think I was a bit slow on the change up to 3rd gear there. We're kind of just getting left in the dust. That was really bad. Okay. Hey, we got our teammate up here, Bubba. Alright. Please don't hold me down in the bottom. I definitely cannot hold this line. I would rather just take out one of us instead of both of us. Okay. I do get the better run somehow, despite being on the inside line there. And it just looks like a hornet's nest up in front of us as I'm actually drifting through the corner. Okay, do have to keep in mind, I don't want to run low. This car cannot run low with the current setup. I probably should have made some adjustments there. I did not keep that in mind. Okay, so let's run like this sort of middle lane we got here. Which all the AI are seemingly running this lane, which is not going to do well for us because we would, you know, like to get around them. Okay, so Jimmy, I'm going to get way off the gas there just to make sure the car stays under control. And we're still making up ground, so you know what? I think even though it's very loose and it's pretty hard to drive, we might still have a top 10 car if I can keep everything clean. Okay, Kevin, please don't do that. That was an interesting corner. There are too many cars. I think we're being held up by some of the cars that didn't take tires or didn't pit that time. So all the AI are struggling to figure out how to get around them. Okay, so we're kind of stuck on the bottom line here. Austin Dillon, it looks like might have not pit. He might be holding up everybody on the outside line. Another thing I wish they would have fixed, the AI is not really good at overtaking lapped traffic, but that's a thing in a lot of games. It's not necessarily just, you know, this game, but it really does annoy me when that happens, and the AI could be much faster than you, but as soon as they have to deal with somebody that's significantly slower, they just kind of turn their brains off momentarily. All the way to the wall? What does that mean? Okay, my spotter just told me all the way to the wall. Is he telling me to run the high line? Is that something new? I don't actually know what that was in reference to. Okay. D Burrito coming down real slow right in front of us. Kind of stopped our momentum. We see Alex Bowman pulling out to a pretty sizable lead up there. We just shot through the middle. I have no idea where that run came from. Okay, we have 23 laps of fuel. We're down to 96% on aero. That is not good. That means we're going to be down on straight line speed, and that's probably going to be a 2 or 3 second repair in the pits if we choose to use it. We might choose to use it if we have to pit during a yellow flag again. But if it's under green, actually, you know what? We might not have to pit at all. If our tires can last the whole race, which is a big if, we could potentially make it, I think. 23, can I do math real quick? 22, we're going to be a lap short. That is also not good. Kind of just smacked myself on the side of the wall there. We are battling for the top 10 already, though. That is a good thing to see. Okay, so we're trying to pick out a line here, but it looks like both lines are working. Awesome to see as well. You don't want to see the A all kind of just bundling around the bottom or all around the top and one being better than the other. But it seems to be pretty diverse so far. We got Tyler Reddick up on the high lane. Eric Jones, I should have died there when I touched the apron, but you know what? Glad I didn't. We somehow ran a 29.8 at some point. That must have been probably off the restart, I would think, because I don't think I had that before the yellow flag came out. All right, so you can see a lot of the AI kind of wall riding here. Some people, I have no idea what that move was from, I think that's Truex, who just kind of shot down to the bottom out of nowhere. That's not reasonable, but okay. All right, we're actually maxing out our top line speed down the back straightaway. I don't know if that's how the game's simulating my aero damage or not, but it sounds not healthy, engine-wise. We're actually looking to make our way towards the top here. Are we in a winning car? Not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised. Whenever I've played these games in the past on 105 difficulty, I've usually struggled pretty bad to actually get better than like a 5th place finish. It could just be that maybe I have better tires than a lot of the other cars back there. But we will have to see. We still have a lot of ground to make up if we do want to get to 1st place. And there's still plenty of time left in the race for our tires to basically just disintegrate from beneath us. All right, we have a nice run on Newman here. Can we get to the inside? We can. Oh, okay, I kind of just doored him there because I was looking at the top of the screen. 193, I don't know what it is, but my engine sounds terribly unhealthy at the end of these straightaways. It might be the oil temp, actually. 256, that seems significantly hotter than we were running at Daytona. Maybe that's it. I'm hoping that's not causing any damage, because if so, that would probably prevent us from winning the race. We are actually reeling in Alex Bowman, however, as Truex tries to keep us pinched down to the bottom. I think he's still there. Yeah, just barely. Okay, kind of just backed off a little bit coming into that corner. We're going to catch up to Bowman here. I think we can probably take the lead. Whether or not I can keep it is another question entirely. All right, so we're coming around to Alex Bowman. We're kind of drifting up the pack here because I'm trying not to pin it too far down to the bottom or else I will lose control. Coming to the line, it looks like I probably will get around him. That's pretty good to see. And I'm not lifting. I think that's a big thing. Okay, I'm lifting ever so slightly. I didn't lift there, but in a lot of these corners I am lifting just to keep the car in check. I don't have to lift to make the corner. That seems really weird. This late into a run with like half the tire work on, or about a third, you would expect to have to lift at some point. Maybe it's just a really good default setup. So for anybody that doesn't know, I'm not doing like custom setups for most of these races, or any of them really. I'm just going through and choosing one of the presets, and generally I choose somewhere right of the center in terms of tight to loose. This one's fairly loose, I will say. I probably could have gone one more notch over to the left. But I mean, he's handling pretty well, and we're already off to almost a 2nd lead here. We'll have to see how the tires hold up. Also, if there's no caution for the rest of the race, I could potentially save to make it, but some of the AI will definitely have to pit because there's no way they can make it because they haven't pit yet. So they can't make it on one tank of fuel. And we will probably start catching up to lap to traffic here in the next little while. Actually, might be quite a while. I see one straggler hanging out in the back, but beyond that, they're not exactly that close to us. Okay, so I see some cars actually jumping onto pit road right now. Those are probably the guys that did not pit during the caution, so they're going to be in a really bad spot, especially if somebody does manage to complete the race on just one stop. Because I'm probably not going to do it, especially out front. I'm not really saving fuel. I'm not stuck in somebody's draft. I could potentially try it, but honestly, I don't think it's going to work. I don't see myself saving 2 laps worth of fuel in just 14 laps of active racing. Okay, we have some cars coming back up onto the racing surface after their pit stop. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they are faster than me or not, because if they are, one strategy we could do is we could pit early just to try to keep our tires, you know, as high as we can, because if they start dipping down too low, I might start losing a lot of time. But right now, I'm still running, what is this lap time? Okay, that was a 30. That was a bit slow, but we're still only like 2/10 down from our best, so I don't think we have to worry about anything yet. Ryan Blaney's 1.5 seconds back, so nothing immediately threatening us. Okay, we have more cars coming out of pit road. It's actually a significant amount. This is going to be interesting to see how strategy plays out. If any of the AI has managed to have enough fuel to make it to the end, they're probably just going to win, and that's how we're going to get some like really weird winner. Although we did have Michael McDowell winning the Daytona 500, so you know what? At this point, anything can happen, and it is a season-long championship. Like I said, that's the whole point of the series. So you know what? A win doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. It's all about consistency. All right, we got Eric Almirola coming out in front of us. We're getting a bit of a draft there. It looks like they might actually be faster than me. At least Boyer was able to get out of that corner a little bit quicker than I was. A 30.2. Okay, that was not a great lap. We're not pulling away from Ryan Blaney. It does look like that gap is kind of evened out a little bit. It might depend on what area of the track we're on. All right, how much more do we have? We have 8 laps of fuel as of that point. We have 11 laps, well, 10.5 laps of racing at that line, so we're 2.5 laps down in terms of fuel. There's no way we're going to save that up now, especially, so we're probably going to come into pit here in the next lap or two and just hope I don't die, because if that happens, that'll be very unfortunate. It doesn't matter how many laps you lead, or you could lead the entire race. Wreck on the last one, you finish in like 30th position. You're only getting points for 30th spot. That is the up and downside of having a season-long point standings without stage points. It's all about your finishing position and how consistent you can actually be. All right, so we still got around some of those cars like they're standing still, but that's because, I mean, they're slow. 29.9. We're definitely not really losing pace. So, I mean, probably a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have less grip on, or more grip on, I should say, for worn tires. But that's just because if it's the other way around, it seems like the car just slides around way too much. If this becomes too much of a factor throughout the season, I will change it just to add some challenge in there for us. All right, we're at 33%. I don't want to have cars around me when I go in pit, so I think we'll wait until we're around this group. Okay, just tag the wall slightly there. Timmy Hill, top 20, not bad. Look at that. Okay, we're at 257 on the oil temp. I still don't think that seems good, but I don't know where it actually starts damaging the vehicle. Probably 260, maybe higher. But we're going to come in and pit this time around, which might be a dumb move. Who knows? The caution might come out right afterwards, and then we might be in trouble, but... All right, on the brakes. That was probably pretty sketchy, but you know what? We're going to accept that. All right, we don't need 2 cans of fuel. We just need half a can. Don't even give me 4 tires. Just give me right sides. I don't think we need 4 tires for this. I'm not going to repair the damage. I'm hoping that doesn't come back to haunt me. 8.4 second pit stop. Let's see. Also, I like how the pit crew's paint scheme makes no sense, or their overalls, whatever, don't match my car in the slightest, but that's fine. All right, 8.4, where are we going to come out? All right, we are going to be a lap down here now. Okay, I'm also stuck in first gear. I just lost a lot of time there. That's not good. We're in 15th. We'll have to see if Ryan Blaney or anybody else makes it the rest of the way without pitting again. Okay, as soon as I hop that up into 4th gear, the car just kind of wanted to snap loose. We should be good here. It'll all be up to whether or not the leaders are able to stretch it out on fuel. All right, we are now up almost towards the top 5. We have Timmy Hill and Quinn Houff up there. That's an interesting combination. Okay, I'm pretty sure at least one of them is pitting this time by. Will Ryan Blaney pit, however? I feel like we might have gained time on Ryan Blaney here, but I did have a really bad exit on pit road because I kept it in first gear for way too long. There goes Ryan Blaney. All right, so we are back on the lead lap. And we have how many laps to go? We have 5 laps to go. Let's see where this ends up. Ryan Blaney is the lead. Either Ryan Blaney is going to be the leader or I will be. I say that Quinn Houff is still right here, but he's going very slow, and he's pitting this time by. Okay, well, he kind of just gave up his chance of redemption. I don't even know why I said redemption. He gave up his first chance at having a natural win. Potentially the only chance the whole season, but who knows? Okay, Ryan Blaney is still on pit road, so we're actually going to have a commanding lead here. And he gets held up a little bit by, I think that was Joey Gase. So we're actually probably pretty comfortably going to win this unless a caution comes out. If a caution comes out, he will have fresher tires than us. I don't know if he did a 4-tire pit stop or if he just did 2. But we have a pretty sizable lead. We gained about 3 seconds on him from before the pit stop started. All right, we're just going to go casually 3 wide with some back markers here, even though one of them is the Daytona 500 winner from last episode. But, you know, that doesn't mean a whole lot. You come to Atlanta, completely different racetrack. We're coming around to 2 laps to go. A caution could still come out, and we do have, I believe, Kyle Busch behind us in 2nd place now. So Ryan Blaney actually lost quite a bit of time by pitting a bit later. Kyle Busch behind us, Chase Elliott in 3rd. Ryan Blaney and his Penske teammate behind him. Got Corey LaJoie coming up here. We're just going to say hello to him. He led the most laps in the Daytona 500. So you know what? He was off to a pretty good start. 24th, also still not bad or anything. All right, coming around to the white flag. As long as I don't somehow wreck myself, which the car seems a bit more stable now, ironically, with only 2 fresh tires on it than it did with 4. Our left side tires are kind of screaming right now at 30-something% there, but it's pretty stable. It's not really trying to snap on me like it was at the beginning of the race. I don't know what exactly changed in that department. Also, our teammate's up here. We're not going to lap him, but we can see him go along for his final lap, as we're going to come around and we're going to win. I was not actually expecting this, but hey, you know what? Only took us to the 2nd race of the season, and we've gotten 1st place. Not bad. Okay, should we do a burnout? I guess we should probably try and do a burnout. I don't generally do these in these games. And, okay, that was pretty miserable. I put in 2nd gear, 3rd gear, I have no idea. We're just going to blow up the engine, even though we're driving for Richard Petty Motorsports, so we probably don't have the resources to actually do this. Also, this sounds pretty terrible. But there we go. We have officially destroyed our 1 race-winning engine. Thanks a lot, Rich. Okay, so looking at the final standings, like I said, I'm in 1st, Kyle Busch 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd, Ryan Blaney down in 4th, and then his teammate Joey Logano in 5th. We'll see the rest of the point standing, or not the point standings, the race standings here. We see only 23 cars finished on the lead lap, And last place, Matt Kenseth. Unfortunately, he is the one that I guess blew his engine very early on. I mean, I guess you get whatever you want at that point when you're kind of just brought in the season at a moment's notice. Clint Bowyer also seemingly did not finish the race, down 9 laps. And then Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 38th. Some pretty big names down here. They're not going to be off to a great start to the season. And then, of course, Jimmy Johnson down here as well. Not exactly what he's looking for. Which then brings us to the point standings. So I am now in first by 9 points over Kyle Busch and Ryan Newman, tied for second place. And then you can look kind of through the rest of the point standings here. Michael McDowell, after winning the Daytona 500, already down in 10th in points. He had a really good start to the season. Not exactly a great second race. And let's see what the biggest outlier here probably is. If we go all the way down, we can see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Matt Kenseth are actually both tied for last place. Who would have thought that? After 2 races, they both only have 2 points. That's pretty terrible. Hopefully they can make up some ground, but you know what? If you're already that far back at the start, probably not going to come back to win the championship. Just saying. So that is all that I have for this episode. I hope you did enjoy. If you made it this far and you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, and it lets me know that you'd like to see more content like this. We will be moving on to Homestead, Miami for the 3rd race. I actually forgot about that. Before then, moving on to the West Coast swing with Las Vegas, Phoenix, Auto Club, and then Sonoma, all back to back. So feel free to turn in for that, and I will see you all in the next one.